Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. You're here with me in the podcast show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohidin. This is the show where we sit back, relax, and I have some chats with my friends and with you guys in the comment section, and we just have a nice chat about the week, how your weekend was, etc. And yeah, it's a chilled evening with me. As I said already, I'm your host, Khalid Mohidin, so I hope you enjoy the show today and you get involved in the comment section. Let's just have a nice conversation and talk as much as we can. And I would like to hear what you guys did this weekend. So let me know in your comment section what you got up to. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new and click that notification bell. If you're not new, then smash that like button, please. You know what to do. Smash that like button, get commenting, do all of those things that you are supposed to do and you know you're supposed to do on this channel. So yeah, crazy weekend of cricket. We had obviously India take on England. Over there, obviously in India, some interesting things happening over there in the stadium, which we're going to obviously speak about with Aditya. We had obviously India, also in South Africa in the women's and the women's league, not women's league, but the women competition, the ODIs over there. South Africa obviously sealing that particular series, exceptional. First time they won in since 2014. I think the last time they won away in India was in 2014. I think we toured there in 2018 and 2019, lost both of those tours, and now 2021, convincing win from South Africa. I was very impressed with the way the ladies performed, especially with not having Dane in the team and someone like Chloe Tryon at the end there to be able to smash balls out of the park. They never really had a designated big hitter or slugger in the side, which was very interesting to see. So I think majority of this conversation is probably going to be about that. But other than that, decent week. Wasn't so hectic from a content perspective, but from a business perspective, yes, a lot to do. Always a lot to do. You can see, maybe you'll notice throughout this particular stream that my right eye is twitching on the left hand side for you guys. I think it is because I haven't really slept much. With the load shedding here in South Africa in Cape Town, well, when the lights go off, well, I know our alarm system tends to do this little beeping sound. So I'm not a very sound sleeper. I wake up to any noise, almost any noise. So I woke up at 2:30 and I didn't sleep until the next morning, 2:30. So it's one of those type of days where I was just like, I'm struggling to sleep these days, guys. You guys have to make me sleep. So join the Patreon, and that will help me sleep a lot easier in the evenings. But let me introduce you to one of my closest friends, and that's Aditya. I haven't spoken to you in so long. Welcome to the show, buddy, and you're gonna co-host the show.
Thank you, brother. Very well, I'm honored.
So how are you doing? How was your weekend so far?
It's been all right. It's capped off with an India win against England after we got hammered in the first game. But at the same time, I'm a bit disappointed that our ladies were not able to get across the line. But having said that, congratulations to South Africa. They've pulled off the highest successful chase. So
Excellent.
Very well played.
You know, what stood out to me the most is when last have we seen a South African team of any type of South African team with the entire top four getting off centuries? Like, I don't know when last I've seen that on South Africa's name and then a score sheet with this half century. Like, that was the most impressive thing for me. That even the people, even someone that didn't score half century was not out. So Marazan Cup, for example. So like we're talking about our middle order, sorting out our middle order. I know that Mignon Dupree, for example, was the person that won player of the match. But for me personally, I really have to take my hats off to Alara Goodall, because I've been watching her play for South Africa for a while now. It's the second half century that she scored for South Africa. So I've watched her play for a while now, and I just got the sense that she was nervous or she wasn't as comfortable at the crease as some of the other players. And that's obviously because she's coming into a side where she needs to cement her spot in the side. She's looking to obviously take that number 3 or number 4 spot as her own. We know that, for example, Dane van Niekerk, if she comes back, she'll probably bat at 3 or 4. Sunay Lewis as well bats high up in the order, especially when Sunay is captain and Dana is captain. They're going to get preference of where they're going to bat. So it was a series where Laura really had to show what she's capable of. I think she struggled in Pakistan, and we see that how she plays. I noticed that generally, I don't know if you saw it as one in the Pakistan series, Aditya. When she's nervous or when she's uneasy, she tends to go to the sweep a lot, and especially against I don't know how she plays against the non-subcontinent teams, but we know that generally we have spoken about it for a long time on this channel about using and utilizing the sweep shot when it comes to spin bowling. And I think that maybe South Africans are overly thinking about it, like overthinking it when it comes to that. It's like almost like their brain is telling them, you need to sweep. You need to sweep. Now, I don't mind them programming themselves like that because it's a lot better than having no game plan. that's the thing. But when she was playing a lot of the time across the line, and I think that from my perspective, what that means to me is that she's searching for bat on ball. She's trying to get some runs, get the nerves out of her system so that she can perform the way she did this particular innings, because I really felt it. I think she felt it too when she went out for 49 in the second ODI. She went down to her knees. She looked so distraught. Like I really felt it for her because she really needed a big knock, and then she went out one run short of a half century. Coming back 2 games later, scoring a half century in the way that she did, because I thought that when Mignon went out, and even before that, when she came into the crease, it wasn't like the game was already won for South Africa. There was still a lot of work to do. So when she came to the crease and she lost Laura Wolfhard quickly after she made a half century, and then she came to the crease with, I mean, Mignon du Preez came to the crease. They had to do a hell of a lot of work before they could get themselves over the line. Even when Mignon scored a 60 that she did, when she went out, there was still a lot of runs to still be scored. Now, we've seen teams collapse when you lose a wicket. A couple of dot balls, you get nervous, the run rate climbs up, and that 28 of 29 balls goes to 26 of 12 balls. in no time, you can see it. So I think that the way she kept the calm, particularly she grew in confidence throughout the innings. That's what I really liked about it. That reverse sweeps in the penultimate over that she played, those 2 reverse sweeps that went to the boundary, superb. And I was really like, at first I was really saying like, you're going to the sweep shot, the entire time, you're trusting that, but you're not hitting the ball, you're not connecting. She missed so many sweeps. But then when she started coming down the track, playing on the offside, and she looked a lot better and she grew in confidence. And once she got the first one to the boundary, then she got a lot more confident. And then she played a reverse sweep to them. So for me, she was my man of the match. Player of the match, sorry, for this particular game, because I think that she took us over the line, her and Marazan Cup. I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, but from your perspective, if you looked at that particular innings, particularly this match, the way South Africa played, I mean, the highest run chase in the history. It's quite impressive, isn't it?
Definitely. The standout is probably how proactive the South African batters were. You look at the scorecard and you compare the Indian scorecard with the South African scorecard, and you see that in the South African scorecard, apart from Laura Woolhard, who striking at 67, everyone else is striking at 92 or the late 80s, or in case of Mignon du Preez, she's striking at 110. So that tells you that they had more intent. Whereas if you look at the Indian top order, Mithali Raj made 45 for 71. And she's one of our main batters. She just crossed 10,000 runs through the course of this series. So that's not a knock on Mithali Raj. I think that's a template that Indian women's cricket has followed over a period of time. And unfortunately, we have that record of I think having scored 250 plus only 3 times in the last 3 or 4 years. So clearly that's an area for improvement for us. And there was I think they really maneuvered that chase well. they took advantage of the fact that India had an inexperienced bowling lineup today. With Julian Goswami being injured and Shikhar Pandey being rested, and we were over reliant on our spinners. So I think the South Africans very confident. Their game plan came through, and they totally deserve this victory. So very well done, and it's good for women's cricket. I think this is the sort of game that this series needed.
So I'm going to turn on the live super chat, guys. If you want to get involved with the super chat and get your questions read out on the show and you want to chat to us, then go ahead, bottom left hand side of the live chat, and there's a $sign. Click on that and you can get your comments highlighted on the show. So please support us with regards to that. Aditya, when I look at our bowling though, and I was very upset the way we bowled. Like throughout the series and against Pakistan, we bowled excellently. At the beginning of the series, we bowled excellently, very, very tidy. But I felt like they stuck to a game plan that wasn't working for them, particularly bowling on the fourth, fifth stump, very short and very wide. And India was just picking us apart with regards to it, just finding the gaps easily and playing off on the offside very easily. It was we didn't make it very difficult for them to play the drive or to play the cut. So it kind of helped India in a way get the runs that they did. But no, you have to give credit, obviously, to the two batsmen, to the two batters, sorry. Obviously, Poonam Raut, and obviously, for me, Harmanpreet, the way she came to the crease at that particular time and instantly put the pressure on South Africa. I felt she took the game kind of away from South Africa in that particular spell, because we looked okay. 144, I think it was, for two after 35 overs or something like that. So we looked okay. It wasn't like we were going at India was going at a, like you said, with regards to the strike rates, they were going at a okay rate until she came to the crease and just took the game away from us. I think her innings particularly really stood out to me. She plays a beautiful drive. Wow, really beautiful drive. I really enjoyed watching her play. So from a batting perspective, I think those three, and obviously your captain as well, those three batsmen in the middle has really looked good, really good. Obviously scoring a century and losing a game must be really heartbreaking for India. Whereas then I started thinking about it and I was like, how do you bowl on this pitch? Because when India started bowling, you guys attacked the stumps a lot more. And you bowled a lot straighter lines, but yet Lazal Lee and Laura looked quite comfortable against the straighter line. So particularly Lazal Lee, I was very impressed with the way she swept. She used the sweep shot a lot, found a lot of boundaries with the sweep shot. And that kind of started everything. I think they've got a 116-run partnership, I think, between the two of them. And that really set the platform for someone like Lara Goodall to come out. Now, that's so important, having a solid opening partnership. And we can talk about that like from a South African men's perspective. Having that opening partnership that you can trust. You want your number 3 to sit on the bench relaxed, knowing that your two opening batsmen are going to do a job for you. At least get 60 plus on the board for you to come in with a little bit, where the ball's a little bit older. It's not necessarily it's so new. So, I'm hoping that South Africa find that with Quinton de Kock and Themba Bavuma, for example, in the T20 format. And then again as well, in the ODI format, maybe finding another partner for Quinton. If Themba's going to open, then great. Then that's the opening partnership there too. What I like about it is there's not a lot of left-handers knocking on the door as opening batsmen in ODI cricket and white ball cricket. So it's always going to be a left-right-hand combination with Quinton de Kock, because your number 1 opening batsman is a left-hander. So that really gives you a little bit of a good step forward. But overall, great performance, I think, with a bat from South Africa. And I'm hoping that we get to see some like Faye Tunnicliffe play in the last ODI, because I'm a big fan of hers. You guys know she's a big fan of the channel as well. She also is a big part of our content creation. When she has a chance, she comes on the shows, etc. So I'm hoping to see her play, because I think she's an excellent batsman. An excellent all-rounder. She's a good wicket keeper. She can bowl a little bit, and as well as she can hold her own with a bat at the top of the order. So would be very nice to see her play. Maybe give Lazal Lee a little bit of a rest for the T20s, and then maybe open with Faye. That would be a real interesting one. I would like to see that, because it would be interesting to see how they perform. But let's move on, Aditya. I want to know how you feeling about your men. First and foremost, what's going on with the coronavirus situation in India? Because I've been 79,000 people in the stadium. I was like,
It's I don't know what to say because it's there's a serious surge in this country. We are having uh, a second wave of sorts, and the state that I live in, Maharashtra, is having pretty significant surge as well. And a number of smaller cities and towns in the state have been locked down. So I'm as shocked as you are to see 79,000 people in the stadium. And I don't know if you watched the game yesterday between the Indian legends versus the South African legends for the
I didn't
the
actually
roads
see that. Yeah, I
the
know what you're
road
talking about.
safety the road safety World Series challenge where India made 204 in 20 overs and South Africa 148 or so, led by Jonty Rhodes. And that stadium was packed as well. Another 45-50,000 people in the stadium there too. In Raipur, this is insane. We're in the midst of a serious pandemic, and here we have people having, enjoying their cricket, which is great. But let's be mindful of the pandemic, people. It's still there and still real.
Yeah. Well, at least we know that King Kohli still has it. He can still play in front of a crowd, a packed stadium. It doesn't affect him at all. King Kohli once again doing the job for India. I think excellent performance from him. I didn't get to watch the full game, unfortunately. But I watched part of it. I specifically saw a lot of the bowling with regards to some of the England's innings. Competitive T20 series is going to be good ending. It's going to be a great ending to it. What is your thoughts on that? On this particular the game? What about Ishan Kishan? What do you think about him, for example?
He's brilliant. We've talked about him a bit, during our IPL conversations. And he averaged 57 in the last IPL, scoring over 500 runs. So Ishan Kishan is hot property. He's also done well in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, which is our one-day domestic competition. And just a side note there for people who may not be following the Vijay Hazare Trophy. Prithvi Shaw who plays for the Delhi Capitals and for India. In 7 games, he scored 754 runs, and he's averaging 188 tournaments.
It's ridiculous. That boy's so talented. Gee, he was so
He's
talented. He lifted the trophy.
insane.
He lifted the under 19 trophy, didn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, I remember that particular tournament. Wow, incredible.
And number 2 on that list is also a cricketer that we know who plays for RCB, a guy called Devdutt Padikkal, opens the batting for them. And he plays for Karnataka. And in seven games, he has scored 737 runs, averaging 147. He scored 400s on the bounce.
Yes,
He
sir.
had 97 in his first game. Then he scored 400s on the bounce. He almost had a fifth 100, except he was dismissed for 64. So, yeah, the trophy is going well. We're really excited about it. As for Ishan Kishan, he's a gun cricketer, and I think there's so much competition in the T20 team because we have Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, and KL Rahul as our designated openers. So we have to choose. So Rohit Sharma is definitely playing. Then it's a game, but it's between KL Rahul and Shikhar Dhawan. But the team decided to experiment to go with Ishan Kishan today because the middle order is quite packed. Kohli's definitely a 3, Pant at 4, Shreyas at 5, and we've got Surya Kumar Yadav, who's done brilliantly for the Mumbai Indians as well as for Mumbai in the state competition as well. So it's quite an overloaded middle order, but I think India is in a bit of an experimental phase right now, where there are selection headaches, but at the same time they're trying to identify the brand of cricket that they want to play. Whereas England, on the other hand, they've already got that template set. Ball 1 to ball 120, they're going to go hard. But India hasn't been that. India has always had more of an adaptable approach. Where they've been conservative at the start of an innings and then they sort of accelerated. So I think this series is going to be used to explore that new template and try to be a bit more aggressive up front and then continue that momentum. So we're actually batting till 10 now. which is quite unusual for an Indian T20 team.
Yeah. Am I mistaken over here? But if I'm reading this correctly, 227 not out, and then 36-2, then 185 not out, and then 165, and then 73. This is sure.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Wow, I was actually asking you not so long ago, how is he doing? Where is his recovery? What's going on with him? Because I mean, all formats of the game, that boy is top class. I mean, I thought he'd be the I don't like to say replacement for, or I don't like to say the next, like the next AB or the next Kohli, whatever. But I feel that he could be a future captain for India and be that solid player at the top of your order. I can see him bat 3. I can see him bat 1. I think he can bat in those. I think that 2 positions for me, 1, 2, 3. The top 3 is a perfect place for him. I was very upset today, obviously, because my guy, KL Rahul, didn't perform. Unfortunately, 6-ball duck. Yes, dot and out. I was so upset because that's my guy. I really like watching him play. Very nice guy too, from what I've seen. I don't know him personally enough. I haven't met him enough to know, but from my experience with him so far, I think he comes across as a very humble guy. Yeah. So I like that about Gail. But one of my favorite players in the India setup. It's nice to see Kumar there as well. One of my other favorite players in the India setup. So good to see. Very good to see that there's so much cricket happening and around the world. All around the world. Let's get into some of the comments over here. We've got a whole string from Abai, so I'm going to read all of them out. Abai, get involved with the super chat if you want us to read your thing. Wink, wink. Just joking. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to watch the entire chase, but lovely result to wake up to. Yes, of course, in America, it's hard. Saw the first 20 overs. Wolfhard and Lee were looking so fluent. They were. I like the way that they combined with regards to giving the one side an opportunity to strike, like a one partner to opportunity to strike, and then the other one kind of playing the anchor role, rotating the strike, etc. I like the combination between the two of them. It was excellent from that side. I think we got a guest in the back end over here. I didn't see the final result. Smile if you. Oh, they won. They won.
Oh my word! Oh my word! Finally.
How are you doing?
How are you guys doing?
Good, you, man.
Yeah, very good, man.
I can see you looking good.
Yeah, no, we finally beat Spurs. Oh no, we finally beat a Mourinho team as Arsenal. You guys, it's big.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I saw the penalty. It was in 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Lamella got a red card, but we don't talk about it.
That doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
they were losing before that already. So sorry, Aditya, we're gonna go back to cricket now. So Jose is probably steaming at the moment. Did you get to see any of the pre-match press conference? I mean, the pre-match press conference. The pre-match.
The game just ended, so just wanted to.
Sorry, the post-match.
No, that's going to be for later tonight.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you happy about that? When you think you're going to get to top 4, or what do you feel right now with Arsenal?
No.
Still a long way to go.
No. Top 6 should be a target from here, but it's going to be a stretch. I don't think we'll make it.
I just wanted you to say it. So slab that like button. Abai says, "Congrats to India." Commissioners, commiserations. Sorry, commiserations to the Indian woman. It's very small. The only missing link is the finisher, but the series is won. Yes, Chloe Tryon will come back into that role, I feel, for South Africa. How impressed were you with the way South Africa went about this particular series, Paul?
I love the fact that they actually applied the learnings from the last time they toured in India. They really struggled under with spin, and the way in which they've played Poonam Yadav, the way in which I know Radha Yadav. I was surprisingly, I couldn't believe Radha Yadav made a debut today. I was like, she should have been playing for a very long time. But they played the spin well. India, which was surprising, it's not surprising, but knowing where the World Cups are going, where ODI cricket is going, playing one seamer doesn't necessarily help because they thought they'd steamroll the South Africans with spin, but it didn't work out. And I think it fell into the guys, the team's hand, the ladies' hands, because obviously in the death, bowling a spinner isn't going to get you far. Harmanpreet Kaur bowled actually quite well. I felt she bowled quite well. But I'm happy that the ladies are applying the way in which they're playing spin. Like if I look at Laura's playing it very late. Mignon uses her feet well. Previously, she's always been a great player who uses her feet well, but previously in the previous series she really struggled. I was chatting with Lesego during the week about the batting lineup, and I felt Lara Goodall needed to bat at 3, even when Sune Loose was playing. To act as that anchor. I kind of felt that Sune can be your finisher in a team that doesn't have a Chloe Tryon, and so it could be Marizan and Sune at 5 and 6. So I was happy that Hilton promoted Lara to 3. And showed faith in her, because that's what Lara needs to do. I was chatting with Tim. Tim asked if Lara is the best person to play for the Proteas at 3, and I said, well, she's the best person on tour to be filling that role of number 3. I think she's much better suited, even better than Sune. So I think she batted really well. She started slowly. But she didn't give a wicket away, because normally what happens is with South Africa is, outside of Lizelle Lee and Laura Wolfart, there's a collapse waiting to happen somewhere along the way. But today they built partnerships, they focused on that, and I was really impressed by the way in which Lara and Mignon kind of came together and held the innings together, even though there were two new batters at the crease. I think that was really good to see. And so I was happy that they prepared. I'm happy with our bowling attack. I think our bowling stock's actually very strong. If you look at the way that Dumisi Kukun has just come into the side as the other quick, and she's doing an incredible job. And you've got Marazan, you've got Ayabonga Kaka, and obviously if you think about the guys who are there and thereabouts as well, it's Masabata Class as well, who's knocking on the door. So it's really good. And I'm happy as well that the 5th ODI presents an opportunity for Faye Tunnicliffe to get a game. And I think for me, that's someone I want to see and see her get an opportunity. I think I'd actually even bring Faye in as a 3, because I've seen her open before. But it adds strength and solidity. So the women's team really has done really well. I think they prepared well. Remember, we were wondering when the squad was coming out, and it's good that they kept the continuity. And it seems like they did some work from the Pakistan series to now, because they struggled with spin against Pakistan here in South Africa, and they've actually done much better now in this. And also to do a record chase is no feat. I looked at the 266 and at the 267 target, and I was like, what? It could be pretty tough for them. But Laura, Lizelle, Lara Goodall really batted really well. Mignon du Preez is one of my favorite women's players, and she stepped up. So I'm really happy that they've managed to do this. And this is a massive tick in Hilton Maring's coaching CV.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, yeah. Aditya, there's a question for you over here about your particular game, of course. They want to know if Shika Dhawan's status as a mainstay opener seems to be under a bit of threat. What do you say about that?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Abhay is right there. And for no real fault of his, I don't think Shikhar Dhawan has done too badly. But it's just a matter of Rohit Sharma being a fixture. Rohit Sharma is definitely playing. Then it's a question of who plays alongside Rohit Sharma. Is it K. Rahul at the top of the order, or does Shikhar himself play? But now we've got another option in Ishan Kishan. And Ishan Kishan is quite an attractive option, because he can go slam bang from ball 1, and that's definitely something that the management are looking for. So if Rohit gets his time, he gets some time to settle in while Ishan Kishan just launches, then I think that's the perfect combo. So I think in addition to Shikhar Dhawan, I think now even K. Rahul's place is under threat. So a lot of selection headaches. I think he'll definitely make the final 15 for the World Cup, but yeah, I think KL Rahul would worry a little bit as well.
Yeah. I mean, Paul, what do you make of that? I spoke to Aditya earlier on about the capacity. I mean, they had more people in the stadium. They had more people in the stadium than what United can hold in the stadium. So,
Look, I hope the vaccination is going really well, and we won't get an outbreak from that. My biggest worry was every time the ball is hit into the crowd for six, do they? Obviously, you don't want to change the ball all the time, but I remember with the T20 tournament. When one of our cameramen held the cricket ball, they had to not touch it and get the umpire to spray it, whatever it is. I hope those protocols are happening because I didn't see that. But I'm happy that there's fans in the stadium. I'm really, really excited that there are fans in the stadium, even though, yes, it is under COVID and we all need to be worried. But yeah, no, India played really well. I was really impressed by how they managed. I kind of felt England needed to get to 200 somehow, or even possibly 180 somehow, but they just capitulated towards the end there. And I think that was testament to how India bounced back, and it was really good to watch. I loved Ishan Kishan at the top. I just don't know how you fit him in with Rohit sitting out in the wings, and also KL Rahul, as you said. But I was happy to see Sumeria Kumar Yadav. I think I said his name correctly. I think
he's Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yes, yeah. I'll get better at that. I've always liked him as a cricketer. Watching the IPL, I felt that he got an opportunity, and I think that's like, if you think about the guys who made their debuts today, were playing their. I think Ishan Kishan was playing his 98th, or he had played 98 T20s, and Kumar and Yadav was playing, I don't know, I think it was close in the mid 80s. So that says a lot about what India have and what the rest of the world have. England, I feel, have a team and the squad, and that's it. But if you look at a team like India, you can bring guys from outside the squad, and some of the guys are not even going to be at the World Cup. Like there was no. I was happy to see Bhuvi play today, but I was like, I haven't seen Bhuvi play for India in the longest time, especially in this format of the game. And you've got, and so it was good to see India's depth, and I think that's what this tournament, this T20 series is to see how deep it goes, and it goes very deep. It's just. I was too. I won't lie. And I was just jealous that like a young guy like Ishan Kishan has played 98 T20s. Like, I'm just sitting there going, guys, we need to find a way to play a month of T20s in our calendar, and everyone plays double matches and possibly in an 8-team format with this new Division 1, so that guys can get the T20 experience and get in. Like with the CSA T20, you kind of felt robbed that it only ended in the first week. You wanted the second round to see if guys can score. So, yeah.
Okay, so Aditya, we got another question for you over here from Dex. He says, any Protea young guys you want to see against the Pakistan in the upcoming series? Yeah, you can start with that. Let's start talking about that already, because we haven't dropped our squad yet. I'm not 100% sure when they're going to. Did you hear any whispers, Simple?
No, nothing. Should be this coming week, because people need to go into quarantine.
Exactly.
Because
I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's going to be this week because you need to bring people in. I think it will be this week, and then people will come in after, will enter the bubble per se, probably on Sunday next week and Monday to go through their 2-week quarantine.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Friday after the 4-day, after the 4 days ended, and then.
You got to give guys opportunity to prepare, tell their families that they're going away and things like that. Be
overrated. Majority of that squad love you, Joe again, anyway, it's all right. Aditya, so let's answer Dex's question. I think we all can answer it. Aditya, we can start with you.
Okay, I'm not going to comment on a young guy, but I'm going to say that I'm very excited to see Temba Bavuma at the top of the order, and I want to see, how he leads the side. In his first series as captain. I think that to me is what I'm looking forward to the most, as well as Quinton de Kock, because we haven't, I think, seen a quiet Quinton de Kock for a period of time, and would like to really see him express himself again. But then once the team is really out, then we'd have a better idea of who might feature in the 11, and based on that, I think we can form more informed opinion.
I've heard whispers that he might feature in the 4-day competition. So
Who's this? Quinton.
Quinton, yeah.
Yes,
So-
yes. Three guys are coming back for the Titans for selection. It's Lungi, it's Quinny, and Klaassen we saw. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Because look, if you think about it,
last time we see Quinton in a 4-day competition.
No, but guys, Chris Morris as well. So you think about this, right, guys? You've got Chris Morris, Alga, you've got Aiden, you've got Lungi, you've got Tabrez, you've got Tennis the Brain. Tennis, I'm not sure if but he's gone into quarantine. I don't know if he'll be out by then, but you've got Hannah Klaassen in that Titan side, and then Temba and Kagiso are coming back into that Lion side for this game. So if you ever wanted South Africa A versus South Africa B, or Protea Gold versus Protea Green, this is probably the 4-day game to watch. And it'll be live on SuperSport. So
this one's going to be live on SuperSport, yeah.
Everyone's going to get to see Kagiso bowling to Aiden Markram and Dean Alga.
I'll be watching the Knights game against the Cobras. I'll be seeing Mr. Reinhard van Tonde in action live. It's the first time I'm going to see him live batting with regards to playing for the Knights. I've obviously seen him live at Kaya Majolos and all of that stuff, but I mean live for the Knights, batting in a 4-day game. It's the first time I'm actually watching him live in front of me.
Wait, did he get out very early when I was there? I think so, yeah. It was on my birthday and he got out quite early, so I didn't get to see much of Reinhard. But that's a guy I want to see in the Pakistan tour. That's one guy.
That's what I want to see.
Yes, it's one guy I'd say.
He steals my picks.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's one guy I'd say. The other guy I wanted to go to is who was it? Was it Marco Murray?
What about
Yes, we need to find a finisher. Obviously, you've got David Miller, right? You need a finisher. So either between Vian Libber, Marco Murray, I think they might need to be given an opportunity. From a bowling perspective, I don't know if you guys agree. I don't want to chop and change too much from a bowling perspective. I wouldn't mind making Kagiso play this one, but I want to see Sisanda come in somehow. So maybe find a way to rest. I think Dex has got that. Miguel Pretorius, he's a guy that I think we all want to see get an opportunity. But I think for me, Marco Murray presents a very interesting conundrum for the South Africans from a batting perspective, because I think with the Warriors, there was a time where they pushed him up the order to open, and he scored a 60 or whatever it was, and that was very interesting. To be like, okay, maybe something like that could happen. Maybe you use him as a pinch hitter or something like that. The other one, and I'm going to call this from left field, Vian Mulder. I don't know if he's done enough, but from a white ball perspective, I think if you're looking at an ODI team, Vian Mulder as your number 6 in the longer format of the game could be something that you want to see.
Yeah, so I would say this. Come on, man, South Africa will be bold there. Let's throw Tristan Stubbs in the mix.
No, but yeah, why not?
Honestly, why not?
Imagine
Can you just picture if you just have to think of a young side if I had to pick a young side, for example, you're talking about young players. I would love to see a young side play. Janeman Milan opening the batting with someone new. Give the Proteas experienced guys you're not going to play in the World Cup. Obviously, this is in a fantasy world right now, but I'm saying having Janeman at the top of the order, Ryan Bickleton at the top of the order, the two of them opening the batting. Then you have Reinhard van Tonde coming in at 3. Then you have a guy like Tristan Stubbs maybe coming in at 4 even. I think he can bat at 4. I think he has the caliber to be able to do that. Then you've got a guy like maybe at 5, bring in a finisher like Marco Murray. Then at 6, you can like you said, Vian Mulder would be excellent over there to bat over there. Then you've got a guy like Michael Proteas that can bat 7. Now you need to go into the bowlers. Obviously, you need Magala. Then now you've got Lutasipamla. You've got who else can I say?
Nandre Berger gets an opportunity.
Nandre Berger is another youngster, semi-youngster. I'm trying to think of everybody
as well, but I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But here's
Aya
the thing.
Aya was brilliant. I would like to see Aya get an opportunity, maybe.
Yes.
I want to see. You want to see? You want to see? Actually, what I want to see is Lizard. I want to see Lizard get an opportunity. That boy, man, boy, so whatever you want to call it.
Here's an ODI batting lineup that I think you would like and what I want to see against Pakistan, right? I'm assuming Yanaman will be fit for the ODIC.
I'm hoping so too, yeah. It depends what happens now for the 4 day. If he's fit for the 4 day or not. I didn't check that yet.
So I say you open with either Yanaman or between Ryan Rickleton and Reynard van Tonder at the top. Temba at 3 because we're looking to 2023. Aiden Markham at 4. You then pick... Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. We're looking to 2023. Let's look to 2023, right?
Yeah.
Aiden Markham at 4. I don't know who you'd like to have at 5, but I wouldn't mind anybody. Oh yes, Calveren at 5.
100%
he'll have the gloves. Yeah, Calveren as your keeper at 5. 6 Vian Mulder, and then actually Vian might be still a little bit too high. Maybe Vian at 7. You can add an extra batsman, maybe Zubair Hamza, and probably bringing him in at 5 and Kyle at 6. I don't know. I'm just thinking for this Pakistan tour to say, okay, if we're looking at 2023, what's the 11, or maybe even Arasi comes in there. What's the 11 that I'm looking for? That's the type of thing I want to see. Aiden at 4, Timber at 3. You know, a little mixture like that, and then you have Vian Mulder as your 7, and then you have George Linda, or actually Kesh. Kesh deserves an opportunity, guys. So Kesh is your one spinner. Kesh is your spinner, and then you have your quicks. Miguel Pretorius as 1. I know we know what Lungi, and give Anuk Nokia an opportunity. He hasn't played a lot of ODI cricket for South Africa, so give him an opportunity, and maybe even Luto Sipamla. And that's mostly your 11 for the Pakistan ODI series, and I'd like to see that to have a glimpse at what the World Cup's going to look like.
Yeah,
and where we need to fix and add.
Need to build now for the 2023 World Cup. They need to build now.
Yeah, so we hope to see those guys get an opportunity. So you want to see Reynard, you want to see even Keegan Peterson as an opportunity in the side, even as an opener at the top of the order. So give guys opportunities, and this is the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Johan Dile, guys, he hasn't been his best, eh?
Who?
Particularly Andile Pechlekwayo, you know, he hasn't really been his best, but I'm hoping that he'll come right in the series against Pakistan.
Look, I think we all need to just be a little bit accommodating with him. Obviously, with him, I think remember he didn't play in that England tour because of him. I think he was one of the other him and Miller had got the virus. So it's it affects people differently. Yeah. I know he will bounce back. I do want him in the side. It's just this torrid run of form for him has come at a very awkward time with the World Cup later this year. But I know I still would take him to the World Cup as one of my bowlers. I think he gives you him and Lungi are your best T20 bowling quicks from a wicket taking perspective as well as a strike rate perspective. So I know you've got Kagiso and Anuk, but guys, you need to take him.
You really stepped up, Aditya, in the 50 over World Cup when so many people around him were out, like not fully fit. Like Alungi wasn't fully fit, KG wasn't fully fit, Dalestein pulled out of the tournament. I felt that he really stepped up in that position as almost like the most senior bowler with regards to that.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, he batted decently as well, I thought. You know, when particularly in that game against England, you know, he tried his best. So I would take Kantil, and I think again in previous shows we've talked about potential South Africans who could make it to the IPL as well. And I think Andela would have been one of them. He's like a like for like Dwayne Bravo sort of player, and I think over time he's just going to get better. It's unfortunate for him that he's not in his best form right now, but the potential is there, the talent is there, and it's only a matter of time before he bounces back.
Yeah, I see a comment over here about Luis de Ploy. From my understanding, he signed a long-term contract where he's at the moment. So I don't think he'll be available because he's going to be playing obviously in England. I don't think he's going to make himself available for South Africa. So unfortunately,
don't be so sure. Just wait for the money to roll in for this Division 1 situation, because there are two teams in Division. There are right. I think there are three teams that need. There are three teams in Division 1 that are going to need some stars, some guys from some former Corpacks to come in and add meat to the bones, and that obviously will be Northwest. That will be Boland, and that would be Western Province, because I think Western Province right now your squad needs some sort of a veteran. So there's opportunities, and I think if they can get like a franchise, if they can get like a TV deal to show this, even overseas or SuperSport pay for this separately, guys are gonna come and want to play.
Of course. Yeah, there's so many youngsters. I see them talking about Luke Beaufort over here. I think he plays for Eastern Province. Either Eastern Province or Border, one of the two. But
where is Gray?
Port Elizabeth. So you'll play for Eastern Province.
Yeah, it's Eastern Province. Yeah. Because
because
Luke was captain for Gray. Yeah.
Yeah. So very good player. There's a lot of good talent coming through the system. That's why I like this 15-tier team structure, because the players will be a lot more spread out, and there's more teams to join, and it will be more. That's why I like it. I think that will give opportunities to a lot more youngsters. I think, hopefully, I think there's going to be a lot of movement, because there are some guys, like I think one of the top teams need to snatch up someone like, for example, what's his name? How can I lose it? Jean Duplessis, for example, from SWD. A guy like, for me personally, I think. Why can't I get to his name now? And forgive me, because we're quite close. Not close, but I mean, I've interviewed him before. How can I forget his name? Plays for Border. Siritemper Kashile's partner in crime at the Kyle Majolo week. Jason Niemand. Yeah, so someone like Jason Niemand, who's an excellent player as well. I just feel that he needs maybe. What I think Jason needs is a coach like Ashwell. I know I'm going to tell him to come over the other side, but a coach like Ashwell that's going to put pressure on him, push him, like tell him, look here, we believe in your talent, etc. I think that's what someone like Jason needs, is a push, an extra push. I think he's extremely talented, especially in the longer format as well. There's loads of guys. I want to see Godisa Molefe get picked up, obviously play more games. I know Boland's going to probably go to the market. I know they're going to look to probably sign a lot of players. The switch. What's interesting is the Cobras guys. How many of them are going to stay at Western Province, and how of them are going to move to Boland to someone or one of the other provinces?
I'd want the younger boys to stay at Western Province.
It's very tricky for Province, because they won the Cubs week, so there's a lot of those players that are going to be knocking on the door.
Yes, but you can choose. Well, look, it's the best of both worlds. It's either you have you're near the winelands, or you are in Cape Town. Pick one. It's not like Potch in Johannesburg. Like,
do you want 40-degree weather every single day, or do you want a 26, 27 beach day?
Yeah. So I think for me the bigger question is, for those franchises, for those provinces who have an A and a B, a Division 1 and a Division 2, like KZN, for instance, Coastals and Inland. A guy like Rowan de Swart might not get enough opportunities at Coastals, but he will always play at Inland, and things like that. I think
that's the decision they have to make, is game time over, being in the top division.
It's like Northerns and Easterns now, obviously, with the amount of Proteas that are in that side. what do you do? Do you wanna stick it out and fight it out in Division 1, or play in Division 2 and hope somebody after the first year picks you up into Division 1 because you played enough games and you're not sitting on the bench as part of the 4 players who won't be playing in that round? So I think for me that's a much bigger question. And it also depends. I'm looking at I'm looking at the provinces that are established. Like, for instance, if my cricketing career was is not moving anywhere, or I'm a club cricketer and I want to make it in semi-professional, I'd look into Limpopo, I'd look into Mpumalanga, I'd look into the Northern Cape. But if you at Northerns, you're not getting any game time. Easterns is the best place for you to be nurtured. If you are at Gauteng and you aren't getting any game time, yes, Northwest is in Division 1, so they might get a little bit more, but that's still a possibility for you. And this is the one thing that I'm hoping to get is Border. I really do hope that Border can sort out their financial issues, because they have a massive pipeline of some really great youngsters based on the school systems that have that side that can always come into the system, and there'll be guys who will always want to go play back home. Some vets will be like, you know what, let me go play for Border, and you want to do that. So I really do hope that the provinces that aren't well known get to step it up, and the provinces that are struggling from a financial perspective and an administration perspective get their houses in order.
This will answer Ashit Singh's question over there about the quota system and transformation. It's over the whole season, so you'll maybe see in the T20 format or the ODI format particularly, we'll probably see it more players of color playing, so that they can level out the numbers. Because currently we're picking 5, I think consistently, 5 or 4. Not in the test arena, and test arena is a little bit more tricky. But I know in the T20 arena we're playing like 5 or 4. We're not meeting. It doesn't have to be every single game. So just to get people to understand that we'll probably see in the ODI against Pakistan, for example, we'll see a lot more players of color play.
So what they do is obviously they calculate it based on the games that you play as a Proteas team, and so there's always 11 spots. It's 11 opportunities, right? And then if you play 5 games, there's 55 spots. Of those 55 spots, you say you played in the season, you have to make sure that you meet your quota. So one game you can play 7 white males, but then you need to make sure that you balance it out for the rest of the season to meet your quota. Yeah. So that's how it works.
And remember, guys, also that for tournaments, they don't include that. They didn't include that before. They didn't include the quotas for the World Cup, for example. They try to pick the best teams for the World Cup, for example. That's what they decided under Otis Gibson. I don't know what they're going to do under the new regime, if they're going to implement the same understanding. They're might not go for quotas for the T20 World Cup. We have to see how they do that. Aditya, let's just round this up. Your final thoughts about the week, and you can maybe throw in there something interesting that you're watching currently, or whatever, something fun, or a book that you're reading, or something that you're doing as a hobby.
Sure. So all in all, interesting week for cricket, men and women's cricket. Disappointed to see how India started off the T20 series against England, but very happy to see the way they bounced back. The India versus South Africa women's series has been going well as well, and although we were at the receiving end of a dominant performance by the Proteas, it was a good game to watch all in all. So fantastic week for cricket, and long may it continue. As for a book I'm reading, I think just for relaxation, I'm reading The Art of Captaincy by Mike Burley. I just thought it might be a nice one to sort of get back to.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
So this is for you as well, Mpo. If you guys read a lot of South African sports books, or you watch some South African documentaries with regards to cricket, or any documentaries or any books on cricket and sport, would you be interested in maybe writing a review for the website? It would be interesting maybe to show the guys,
I have the perfect person for you. I'll send you a WhatsApp.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Ditya, if you
Yes.
want to do that too, that will be
Yeah.
interesting. And just as an extra piece of
Happy to.
content for the website,
No, like
Yeah,
every
happy.
week you have like a cricketing book of the, or every month you have a cricketing book of the
Whatever.
for the magazine. I have the perfect person. I'll let you know offline.
Awesome.
Mm.
Ampo, over to you.
Oh yeah, so look, great week of cricket. We had, I think it was the first time in a while where I was at home watching TV, watching domestic cricket, 4-day cricket, which was really nice. So I think that's good. And obviously now Tuesday, you get to see the Titans and the Lions. And I hope the Titans can figure out the transformation numbers so they can fit in all their Proteas. But because that's going to be a great one. That's going to be a really, really great, great. It's always a great 4-day game. I remember last year, Aiden Markram, after his hand injury, playing against the Lions, wanting to make his way back into the Proteas team, and he was really struggled. But that's what happens. So that's going to be really exciting. There's so much cricket around. You've got West Indies and Sri Lanka. You've got England, India, which I think is going to be just for me. The fascination is just the crowds. I just sit there to watch people in the stands because I miss people in the stands. I watched NFL, an entire NFL season that had some fans, some not, and a Super Bowl that had fans in, and I was really excited. But all of the people inside the stadium were vaccinated, so yeah. But the things that I do outside of cricket, I watch basketball. I watch a lot of basketball, and so that's also the book that I'm reading. It's called 7 Seconds or Less, which is a basketball offense that was started by Mike D'Antoni. He's a veteran coach, and it was led, I think it was a Phoenix Suns team that had a man who was born in Johannesburg, but he considered himself Canadian, Steve Nash. He was the point guard in that team. So I'm listening to that book and seeing how that team played their offense right now. Outside of that, it's just Love Island for me and Khalid. That's what it is.
I'm so ashamed to say it, Umpo, but I'm hooked to it now.
We're
Like
all hooked.
everybody that says that they're not, you lying to yourself, because to see South
It's-
Africans in action like this is just something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for watching the show and tuning in as per usual. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Remember to subscribe to the magazine. It's free. Link is on the screen and in the description. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. Don't forget to become a Patreon as well. Please join the Patreon community so that we can start creating exclusive content just for you, and you can get in contact with us as well directly in the Discord server. If you guys have a business and you're looking to make sales online, even if your business is offline, we can help you out. So just get into contact with us. You can go to at cricketfanaticsmag.com. If you cricketfanaticsmag@gmail.com, sorry, if you want to email us directly, or you can just DM me on the social media platforms and I'll send you links where you can set up a call with us for free and just talk to us about how you can maybe set up and how we can help you with your business. Thanks a lot, Aditya. Thanks a lot, Umpo, for coming onto the stream today and joining me on this podcast show. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everyone.